The Mediterranean sun blazed over the island of Cyprus, casting golden hues over the rocky hills and olive groves. It was the summer of 1974, and the air was thick with tension. For years, the island had been divided, Greek Cypriots dreaming of a Gnosis union with Greece, Turkish Cypriots fearing marginalization. Now, those tensions were about to explode into war. Prelude to conflict in the early hours of July 15, 1974, Greek nationalists launched a coup, overthrowing President Makarios. Backed by the military junta in Athens, they sought to force Cyprus into union with Greece. But Turkey, watching closely, would not stand idle. 5 days later, on July 20, Turkish forces launched Operation Attila, a full-scale invasion. War had come to Cyprus. The landing at Kyrenia, the first Turkish troops hit the beaches near Kyrenia before dawn. Amphibious landing craft disgorged soldiers onto the sand as fighter jets roared overhead, striking Greek Cypriot positions. The defenders, though outgunned, fought fiercely. Among them was Captain Andreas, a Greek Cypriot officer commanding a small unit near the coast. His men had only rifles and a few machine guns against the advancing Turkish armor. "Hold the line," Andreas shouted over the explosions. "We must slow them down." His men dug in, firing at the approaching troops. But the Turkish advance was relentless. Tanks rolled forward, crushing resistance. By midday, Kyrenia was falling. The siege of Nicosia, the capital, Nicosia, became a battleground. The city's narrow streets turned into kill zones as Greek and Turkish Cypriot militias clashed. Snipers perched on rooftops, and civilians cowered in basements. Sergeant Mehmet, a Turkish Cypriot fighter, led a squad through the shattered buildings. His mission: secure the old Venetian walls. "Move fast, stay low," he ordered. Bullets whizzed past as they advanced. A Greek Cypriot machine gun nest opened fire, pinning them down. Mehmet signaled to his men. One threw a grenade, boom! The gun fell silent. They pushed forward, but the fighting was far from over. The battle for Famagusta further east, the port city of Famagusta, became a key objective. Turkish forces needed it to secure supply lines. Greek Cypriot defenders, including Lieutenant Maria, a rare female officer, prepared for the onslaught. Maria's unit manned an anti-tank position on the road leading into the city. When the Turkish armor appeared, they fired. A lead tank erupted in flames. "Reload!" Again, Maria yelled. But the Turks adapted, flanking their position. Maria's men were forced to retreat into the city, where brutal house-to-house fighting began. The Turkish advanced. By August, Turkish forces controlled nearly 40% of the island. The Greek Cypriot military, though brave, was outmatched. The United Nations called for ceasefires, but the fighting continued. In the mountains, Captain Dimitri led a guerrilla force, harassing Turkish supply lines. His men struck at night, planting explosives and vanishing into the hills. "We can't win in open battle," Dimitri told his fighters. "But we can make 'em bleed." The fall in division. On August 14, Turkey launched a second offensive, seizing even more territory. The Greek Cypriot defenses collapsed. Thousands fled their homes as Turkish troops advanced. In Nicosia, a final stand was made at the Ledra Palace Hotel. Greek Cypriot fighters held out for hours before being overrun. The city was split in two, just like the island. Aftermath: the war ended with a ceasefire, but Cyprus remained divided. A UN buffer zone, the Green Line, cut through Nicosia, separating Greek and Turkish Cypriots. Thousands were dead, and many more displaced. Years later, old soldiers like Andreas, Mehmet, Maria, and Dimitri would remember the battlefields where they fought. Some with pride, others with regret. But all knew one thing: the Battle of Cyprus had changed their homeland forever. Epilogue: today, Cyprus remains split. The war left scars that still ache. But in the quiet moments, when the wind rustles through the olive trees, one can almost hear the whispers of those who fought, and the hope that one day, peace will finally come to the island.